Okay then, so this is my project. Here's my new pond I'm going to be building, all from old materials I've had around, free stuff for the insulation. The only thing I want to pay for on this is the fiberglass and the boards to board it out. That is all the wood I've used. So it was my old decking which used to be there, because I've built big shelter now. Big shelter to go right underneath the pond. And like I said, I want to build this pond using nothing, well, as little, I want to spend as little as possible on this pond. The only thing I'm going to be paying for is the fiberglass, so I can fiberglass it. I've got insulation, more insulation, more insulation. That'll be for the bottom. I've got some wood just at the back there to board the bottom out, which I'm going to get done today, I think. So it's going to be tipped over. Bottom all insulated and boarded up, painted. It is sat on grass at the moment, but that's going to get dug out, made level, because as you can see it's wonky at the moment. It's going to be made level and pavers put underneath. The pavers are going to be free as well. I've already got some of those, and I will be collecting them in about a week or so. The woman is getting a garden done, so I'm going to get the same pavers as these to match as the rest of them. That's spare wood from this, which will be doing the front garden to take my pond out the front to put over here. That is wood I paid for, but that's going to be where the filters are going to sit. The only wood I've actually paid for on this is that wood, reused. It's old pallet wood. I didn't pay for screws, I didn't pay for any of this wood, all reused wood from the decking. The only wood I've paid for is what I've boarded the inside out of. The bottom is made from my old decking boards. Lots of them. Didn't have enough to do the full thing, so I had to pay for some to board it. And that's what I'll be doing. I just thought I'd let you know, we'll make a video on building a pond for as little as possible. I say for as little as possible. The fiberglass for this pond is going to be about £400–500, so that's why that's the only thing I want to pay for. Like I said, the pavers I've sourced for free. All of the material come from my old decking, apart from that wood in there, which I spent £30 on. All of the insulation that there is for vans, but can be used, that's underfloor. Heating insulation, and that is insulation boards. I'm going to try and source as much free insulation as possible to insulate this as much as possible. Like I said, I want to pay next to nothing for it, but I've got it covered up at the moment. I'm going to be flipping it on it to its side to board the bottom. We'll insulate the bottom and board the bottom up. The screws, if you can see, are all screws what I took off the decking, because my old decking had a shelter on top of it as well. As you can see, there's still some of the polycarbonate material there, and it had all these beams here going across, what held them all in. That was all held in by big screws. These screws here, which I've got screwed into the fence, I had a lot of them which I've reused to put around that, so I paid nothing for the screws. The only thing I've actually paid for is the boards to board it in, and then the boards what are going to be put on the outside, which will be painted that grey and have that pattern that's got on it, until I figure out what I actually want to put on the outside, because I don't know if I want to go grey tile or if I want to go ship lapping over the top to make it sort of blend in with everything else. Yes, my garden is half painted, but that's because I need to get rid of that and cut that bloody thing down, get rid of all this soil, get rid of this, get rid of that, and then I can paint all of this. Chop this thing here down, keep my tree, but then all of that will be painted. Getting rid of this shed, putting a bigger one in, building another shelter there for my motorbike. I've got the roofing piece I need there, the roofing piece I need there to go same as this, so it all matches. I've got leftover drain pipe to stick on it. That drain pipe does run down there. This is half finished because it hasn't been done yet, but I need to dig that into the ground, and then that pipe will get run across here, under the ground. All this grass is going to be pulled up. It's going to be a drain right along there, which will then tap into that drain. But it's all going to be a slow process, as I'm trying to do that first. So when I get that done, get that insulated and boarded, and then what will be happening is it will be paved, and then I'll crack on with fiberglassing. I'm getting a temporary vetting pond for here to move the fish out the front so I can finish the front garden. But apart from that, that's what I've got going on at the moment. Alright then, so I've boarded all the bottom out. There's that piece there to go there, that piece there to go there. That's all insulated. I just need to whack the boards on it, get it painted. I didn't record it because I couldn't be bothered. If I can be bothered, I'll record insulating this piece and this side. But as you can see, there is two types of insulation. So I've got a thin foam one, and then the polystyrene one. This is that stuff there, and that stuff there is underfloor heating insulation, and that there is insulation. So that's what I've got. The full bottom. I want to get the bottom done so I can get it sat back up straight, and then I don't have to mess about with the bottom again. Like I said, this here is coming out and pavers are getting put in. I'll update you once I've got that screwed together. Alright then, so I've got this there because it's ready to be painted, but bottom's all boarded out. I've staggered it like that to give it a bit more strength, but that's all ready to be boarded out. I'm right up against the fence. That's all boarded and, well, as you can see, and ready to be painted. It's the bottom, I don't care if it looks pretty, it's the bottom. So I'll get back to you after I have painted it. Alright then, so that's it all painted. Just waiting for it to dry. That's 2 coats of paint. It's not the best looking, but it doesn't matter because it's the bottom, and then it's going to have the thick rubber horse mat for it to sit onto the pavers as well, just to keep it off the ground as much as I possibly can. This is going to be boarded right down to the bottom with the same types of board, because I want to, like I said, spend as little as possible to do this. And that there is basically the bottom done, apart from I need to get the paving slabs and then the rubber horse mat. So I need 5 foot by 6 foot rubber horse mats, thick one with the lines running underneath, so if water does get underneath this shelter it can run off. I know that's pretty hideous, but that's all temporary for now until I get this all sorted. I want to get the pavers in there, all this fake grass ripped out, this ripped out, air curve drain right along here to the end, and then that drain will get plumbed in along, connecting to this drain, which will connect into that drain, and all this grass will be redone to a better quality fake grass. I want a big thick one, but this is my project for now, because the fake grass is going to cost around £2,000, so that'll wait. This is my project. Getting the pavers in is the next step, and then getting this side all insulated is what's after that. I have still got 3 boards of that left. That stuff is automotive thermal acoustic insulation. I've got soundproofing, there's still a little bit of that, but I'm gonna see if I can find more insulation, hopefully the thicker stuff, to be put into here, or polystyrene, which will do the exact same thing. But that's where I'm at so far, and in the next video hopefully they'll be doing the pavers and then getting the back bit done and then laid down. Okay then, so what I've done now is I've just packed everything up. As you can see, it's been raining, so I've packed everything up. That's what I've got left. I have insulated the full bottom, a bit of the back of that. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but just there I've got insulation on that. Same on the other side. And now all I need to do is get some more polystyrene insulation to insulate the full back, some more wood to board it all out, and then it's ready for fiberglass. I've got the shelter up doing its job, and then I just need a nice fancy smooth piece of wood to go on the top, and then that's it. But hopefully the sound is a bit better. I have tweaked the sound. Hopefully you can't hear me breathing heavy. But that's that. All covered back up, back to how it was. I just need to move all that stuff back. Alright then, so I keep forgetting to record. But a lot has happened since last making my video. Last loads of videos. So I've moved the pond from the front and bought a temporary pond to put it in. This has got a lot further, so as you know from the last one, it wasn't insulated, so now it's fully insulated on the bottom. The sides all done, all boarded up as well with this reclaimed wood. All reclaimed. I painted it just so it's treated. I've also done the full inside now, so the full inside's done. And as you know, I had to level the ground, because as you can tell from that bit right there, if it'll focus, the ground is not level at all. So I had to dig all that out, cut the grass, dig it out, level it, and lay all these slabs. So I say slabs, there's the little ones, and because the ground runs this way, I need to put a drain in there, a drain right along there, and a drain right across there. It'll all connect to the drain beyond there. But the pond, as you can see, is off the ground. That is because I have a horse stable mat put underneath, so if water does get all under that, it will run straight out on underneath. But I keep forgetting to record, so a lot has happened. All that's done, obviously all my shelter's done. That's been put into here. I'm building that just for these fish. Just for these ones in here. A few shabunkin, I've got 2 koi, a few shabunkin, and that's it. But there's about 6 fish in there which will be put into there. This is set up with a little filter, UV. It's got UV, it's got an air pump, the pump in there. But I've also got, for this one, once I get to the plumbing, because it's all going to be hid inside of my little shed I've made, I've got this, and I've also got another pressure filter just at the back, if it'll focus. Another pressure filter there. So I'm going to run it into 2 pressure filters into the box filter and then back into the pond. But after doing it, I wish I had done a bottom drain. I'm going to do a retrofitted bottom drain at the middle, and then I'll just puncture a hole down there, which will come straight out into this. The box filter will sit on top, pushing water back in. I've got heat pumps and everything in there as well, waiting to go. But all I'm waiting for now is my fiberglass to turn up, so I can fiberglass it all. I've got 10 square meters of fiberglass coming. Let's see if you can see all the fish. Yeah, 10 square meters of fiberglass coming, which I know is more than I need. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, considering the pond, the inner diameter of the pond is, 1 second. So as you can see, inner diameter of the pond is 45, just under 45 by, that's inches by the way, people. Let me try and get that up there. Trying to do it all by myself. By 50, just under 57, and then it is just above 3 foot deep. So it's more, I've got more fiberglass than what I need, but I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather have more than enough than not enough. I'm gonna go Dover grey in there. There's my dog thinking she's good, sat in the sun, just chilling in the sun. But yeah, I'm gonna go Dover grey once it's all finished. I'm not gonna go black. I did put a clear roof in, which I'm slightly regretting now, as you can tell by that, the way that it comes through. The good thing is it has got UV protection and everything on it, so hopefully that'll stop that. I had to put a towel up there to fill that gap in, because I've got a big sun sail and the sun's blasting through that gap at the minute straight into there. The same thing happens here, look. But it's not as bad, as you can see, it stops there, and all of this is just from the clear roof in there. It's all for the clear roof. So if that does get bad, I'll buy a cover to cover up this half where the pond is going to be sat, up to this beam here, and I'll cover all of that so it's no longer clear to go through it. It'll just get attached to the bottom here. But this is how far I'm up to so far, work in progress still. It's a long progress because, like I said, in the first half I'm trying to build this as cheap as possible. So far to put the pavers in, the wood, the insulation, to build this as it is so far, and that cost £150. That's including the horse mat underneath, which was 50 quid of the money straight on to the horse mat underneath for it to sit on. The pavers was free, to put them in was free because I did it myself. The wood is what I've paid for, and I spent, I think it was like £15 on insulation to insulate it, which it is all polystyrene boards and underfloor heating, insulation, and this door matting, thermal matting stuff. But most of that was free. I spent £15 on a load of polystyrene, insulation polystyrene to go into it, or styrofoam, however you want to say it. but it's all fully done. This outside is temporary for now. You won't see any of this or this because I'm going to stick a fancy top onto the top, but that needs to be open while the fiberglass so the fiberglass can get put over, get wrapped around it, and all of this will be covered up. But I do like that natural wood grain now, as you can see. I love that. I just don't like how it's all joined together. If it'll focus, you see. Do not like how it's all joined together. Very scruffy. So I will eventually get one big piece to go on there, on this side and on the opposite side, and paint it the same grey for now. Paint it the same grey for now until I decide if I want to tile the front or put cladding or something on the front. I'm not sure yet what I want to do, but I do like that natural wood grain look it's got. But just a quick update, that's how far I am so far. I do have, the pond works out to about 500 gallons, 2,500 litres, fully filled. So I have bought an overkill pump, 6,500 litre pump I believe. My garden's a mess at the moment because it's a work in progress. I'll do that while I go in and just grab there. I've bought that, yeah, 6,500 litre pump. Pretty decent sized pump, which I will be using for the pond. Obviously external pump, I don't want it in the pond, it's going to be external, pulling from the bottom, the retro bottom filter, which will be pushed into I've got a 5,000 litre pressure filter, I've got a 2,500 pressure filter there. I need to buy a new air pump, and into the 10,000 litre box filter works out to about 17,000 litres of filtration with two 11 kilowatt UV lights going through it. Will be pushed into there. So enough filtration, hopefully, and if not, I'll upgrade the filtration, maybe into a drum filter and build a big shed there for a drum filter. But that'll be once I convince the wife into letting me do that, because I'm trying to build it as cheap as possible, and I'm literally using all the stuff I've already got around, apart from that pump, which I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace for £30. Big deal, big savings. I already had all that stuff and the pump running that, and I've got another pump in there which is 3,500 litre pump as a backup just in case. The only other thing I need to pay for is a bigger air pump. But apart from that, that's a quick update. I will hopefully remember to record when the fiberglass comes in, so I can record me doing the fiberglass, and I'll probably set you on a time lapse off the top there looking down or something, if I remember. But that's your update so far.